the great Gordie Howe has always been synonymous with Detroit Red Wing hockey, even when he went into the WHA and later the NHL with the Whalers. But there was a Howe that was a big part of Detroit many years before Gordie even showed up. A three-time Stanley Cup winner, scored 6 goals in a game, considered one of the greatest snipers in NHL history, member of the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1965, and holds the unique distinction of playing for 2 of the NHL's what he call lesser-known franchises, and also the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, Syd Howe, born Sidney Harris Syd Howe, no relation to Gordie, born September 28th in Ottawa, Ontario, played 17 seasons in the NHL and a number of campaigns with a myriad of minor league and non-NHL formations. In the NHL, he played for Ottawa, the Philadelphia Quakers, Toronto Maple Leafs, the St. Louis Eagles, and again, the Red Wings. Now, Howe played the NHL from 29-30 to 1945-46, primarily with the Red Wings, where he enjoyed his greatest personal and team successes. One of the leading scorers of his era, he was part again of 3 title winners with the Red Wings as part of what's considered their first dynasty. Now, Sid often skated on Patterson Creek and the Rideau Canal with his brother Lawrence Pete Howe while growing up in his hometown of Ottawa. He eventually played hockey with the Glebe Collegiate High School team in the Lansdowne Park Juveniles in 1926, before joining the Ottawa Gunners junior team in the newly formed Ottawa City Hockey League. He and his Gunners teammates became the first Ottawa club to reach the Memorial Cup Finals when he took on Regina in 1928, losing to the Mara Monarchs in a best-of-3 final 2-1. Howe was the top scorer during the playdowns, registering 9 goals and 13 points in 8 games. Now, he eventually joined the NHL with his hometown Ottawa Senators for the last 12 games of the 1930 season and was loaned to the Quakers for the 31 campaign, which was the Quakers' only year of existence. When Ottawa suspended operations for the 32 season, Howe was picked up by the Toronto Maple Leafs in the dispersal draft, but he only appeared in 3 NHL games with the team, spending most of his campaign that year with the Syracuse Stars of the International Hockey League. He was back with the Senators the following year and moved with the club to St. Louis as a member of the St. Louis Eagles in the 35 season. Howe holds the unique distinction of being the only man to play for both the Quakers and the Eagles. The Eagles eventually sold Howe on February 35 to the Red Wings, where his career could finally get on track. There was no indication of how much it was sold, but it wasn't that much. Back then, $1,000 was the normal transfer fee. Now, Howe was eventually part of NHL history when he was on the ice and at the Forum at 2:25 a.m. on March 25th, 36, when Mud Bronteneau scored a 6 overtime period to give Detroit the win in a Game 1 of the best-of-5 semifinal against the Montreal Maroons, which was then the longest game in league history. The Red Wings went on to win the series and the Stanley Cup that spring and followed up with another Stanley Cup victory in 1937. Now, on March 19, 1940, Howe scored 25 seconds overtime to give the Wings a 2-1 victory over the New York Americans in Game 1 of the quarterfinals. It was Howe's most cherished moment of his career, he said, and will stand as the fastest overtime goal ever scored in NHL history for the next 25 years. He also set the modern-day NHL record by scoring 6 goals in a game on February 3, 1944 versus New York Rangers, a record which has since twice been equaled, but never bettered in more than a half-century of NHL play. He was eventually named to the NHL's second All-Star team that year as a left winger at 45, and also was a selectee in the 1939 benefit All-Star game for the great Babe Siebert. Now, his NHL career, he had 237 goals and 291 assists for 528 points in 691 games. In the playoffs, he had a deceptive 17 goals and 27 assists for 44 points in 70 games, but most of these contests were all 2-1 or 3-2 finals. So 17 goals in 70 games. Each goal he scored was big. He won the Stanley Cup again with Detroit in 36, 37, and 43. In 35, he was runner-up to the great Charlie Conacher for the scoring title with 47 points in 50 games, despite playing much of the season with the last-place Eagles. In 44, he had 32 goals and 60 points in just 46 games. However, league-wide scoring was inflated due to World War II. In a February 3rd 44 game against the Rangers, again, he scored that 6 goals in a single game. Total has been only surpassed once when Joe Malone, the great Quebec Bulldogger and Montreal Canadian, scored 7. Now, Howe was what you call a complete player. He would often shift between left wing and center as needed, killing penalties and dropping back to play defense in a pinch. Those who watched the team closely reported that Howe's ice time with the Red Wings would constitute an amazing total. Some legends saying there were certain games he played almost every minute. Very, very dedicated individual. Now, upon playing his last game in 46, he was the last active player who played for the Philadelphia Quakers and the original layer of the Senators. He returned to Ottawa again and played for the Quebec Senior Hockey League Ottawa Senators in the late 1940s. Although not related, right wing Gordie Howe joined the Red Wings the following season and remained with the club until 71, thus giving the Red Wings a star forward named Howe in his roster from 1934 to 1971. Now, Syd was inducted in the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1965, but died 11 years later on May 20, 76, of throat cancer at age 64. He is interred in the Capitol Memorial Gardens in Ottawa. Again, awards and achievements, 36, 37, 43 Stanley Cup, Hockey Hall of Fame in 65. Now, with the Ottawa Gunners, Memorial Cup, the big numbers in 28, 13 points in 8 games, including 9 goals. He played as well with the Ottawa Rideaus, 29-30, the London Panthers in that 30 season, and the Senators, 31 with the Quakers, 44 games, 20 points, 9 goals. 32 with the Maple Leafs, no points in 3 games. Syracuse Stars, 21 points in 45 games, including 9 goals. The Senators, 2 seasons, 24 and 20 points, 12 and 13 goals in 48 and 41 games. The Eagles in 35, 50 total goals, 50 total games, 22 goals, 25 assists for 52 points. The Stanley Cup season with the Red Wings, he had 30 points in 36, 16 goals in the regular season, also 6 points in the playoffs. 27 goals in 42 games, including 27 points in 42 games, including 17 goals. 38, 8, 19, 27 with Detroit. 39, 16, 20, 36. 40, 14, 23, 37. Then the big 20-goal season in 41, 44 points. 43, the big playoff run. 55 points in the regular season, including 20 goals, and of course what some people consider his career year, 44, 32 goals, 28 assists for 60 points, 46 games, and 4 points in 5 playoff contests. Now, 46, he split time between the Indianapolis Capitals of the AHL and the Red Wings, and then with the Senators of the QC SHL in 47, 19 goals, 21 assists for 40 points. Now, we want to go over very quickly the list of players who scored 5 or more goals in a game. Now, it's quite a distinctive list. Joe Malone did it several times. Actually, he did it once in 1917, twice in 1918, and also did it in 1920 twice. So he was the guy. Newsy Lalonde did it as well. Harry Highland, Mickey Roach, Corb Denny, Cy Denny did it. Babe Dye did it twice. Red Green, Punch Broadbent, Pitt Lapine, Howie Morenz, Charlie Conacher, Ray Getliff, Sid. Then Maurice did it twice. Howie Meeker, Bernie Geoffrion, Bobby Russo, Red Berenson, Yvonne Cornway, Daryl Sittler did 6 and 5. Reggie Leach, Donnie Murdoch, Ian Turnbull, one of the few defensemen to hit that amount. Brian Trotry, Timmy Young, John Tonelli, Gretzky, Mulvey, Brian Trotry, Willie Lindstrom, Mark Pavlich, Yeri Curry, Bent Ack Gustafson, Pat Hughes, Dave Andrewchuk, Mario did it, of course, Joe Newendike, Matt Sundin, Peter Bondra, Mike Ricci, Alexei Zamnov, Sergei Fedorov, Gaborik, Franzen, Patrick Laine, and of course Mika Yabinjad, can hardly pronounce that. He was the last one in March 5th, 2020. So rare feat. And again, players who scored 5 or more in multiple games: Joe Malone with 5, Gretzky with 4, Lemieux with 4, Newsy Lalonde with 3, Babe Dye with 2, Maurice Richard, Daryl Sittler, and Brian Trotry. So again, Syd Howe, he a tremendous player. In a regular 80-game season, he would have scored easily 40, 50 goals. But like I said, back then, Any person could win 3 Stanley Cups in that era where they were losing and gaining players, like with the post-Depression era, the war era. Like I said, Syd Howe was again a marquee player, one of the most deserving inductees to Halls of Fame to ever play for Detroit Red Wings, and it's an honor to do his podcast because I was told about Syd Howe long before I knew about Gordie Howe. My dad told me how Sid was basically part of that early Detroit Red Wings dynasty. And Dad was never big on Gordie Howe, but he was big on Syd Howe. He said Sid had golden skates, which means everything he did turned to gold, literally and figuratively. So that's the legend of the great Syd Howe. If you like what we're doing, give us a like, comment, or subscribe. And don't forget, requests are always appreciated and always considered. Have a good day. Bye.